Happy Sunday. It's lovely to be with you. This is Softer Side. And if you are in the mood for some brand new sneak peek treats, oh my goodness, we have got you covered. We have got to remind you that today is our final day of double point. So if you are part of our wonderful club, anything you're getting your hands on today, you're getting those double points, but it's your last time to make the most of it. And don't forget, also today is your final day to get on Sarah's nice list. Oh yeah, we've got not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 of those to give away today. So it's definitely the time to tune in. We're going to be giving away treats in this one for you. We have got so many new goodies we're going to give you sneak peeks of, but I am joined, of course, by our wonderful Softer Side craft expert today. It's Bernie. But Bernie, you've got someone else with you as well.
Hi Becky, I've got the fabulous Jo with us today. So this is Jo Avery. Jo is a teacher, she's a quilter, she's an entrepreneur, she's a designer, she's an author, she's just does everything. She's brought some of her work with you, haven't you, brought today, and we've all been cooing over it. But the other thing what Jo's brought with her today, Becky, is her latest book. This is absolutely fantastic. Now, we have got this on the show today. However, if you've been on social media over the last couple of days, you'll have seen that I've been doing a giveaway for this book, and it's actually been signed by Jo this morning for the winner. So I'd just like to announce the winner. So congratulations to, are you ready? Abby Wilkinson. So well done, Abby.
Well
this
done,
book,
Abby.
I'm going to show you the front. Let me show you. It's been signed. There we go, look. All signed for you, Abby. There you go. So what I'll do is I'll drop you a message after the show, and then we'll arrange to get your details and get this sent out to you this week. So congratulations. So there we go. So giveaways already, Becky. The show's just going to go from strength to strength, isn't it?
Way to start, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a fab way to start, isn't it? And if you do want to get your hands on this book, this is the time. It is for absolutely everybody. And the great thing with this book is the way it's laid out. It is informative and inspirational. You don't have to have been doing this for years and years to be able to get your head around it, but there are techniques for everyone. This is your time to get into it. Teach yourself, and maybe even a little refresher course this is a great book for. You have got all of your information on screen. Remember, it's only £20.99 or $30.99, unless, of course, you're platinum. So you get those better deals. Today, I did mention as well, if you're looking at these wonderful makes behind me and you've seen a few around the set today, trust me, you're going to want to get your hands on the builder block. This is brand new launch for you today. You have got new shapes and therefore new opportunities, and we're going to bring it to you in a spectacular way. Not only is it the new builder blocks that you can see, you've got the 3-in-1 across the 3 packs, but also we're bringing to you the brand new magnetic base and pins. We'll talk to you more about all of these later, but let's just say we have worked really hard to put this together so that you don't have to. You don't have to work hard for this at all. Today, for you, if you are platinum, it is just £68 or $78.40. Remember, anything you treat yourself today is double points, but it's your final day of it, so do make the most of that. We have got the wonderful Jo with us for this entire show, so do not forget that if you've got any questions for her, we'll be chatting to Jo a little bit more later. So if you would like to get in touch with us, get social. We love hearing from you. Any questions, you can join us in at Crafters Companion TV on Facebook. You can get us on Instagram as well. All the info's at the bottom of your screen there. So we have got so many goodies coming up. I don't know about you, but I fancy getting nosy at what Bernie and Jo have got in front of them. What are you up to there, ladies?
Well, we're playing really happily out with Jo.
Yeah, we're having a lovely time.
Brilliant, absolutely. It's great to have someone with us as well, and we are being really careful as well, so we're not, keeping our little bit of distance, just to be safe. But we couldn't resist doing this section together, could we? We just were like, yeah, Jo was going to be over there, and we're like, no, let's do it together. So, Jo, how long have you been working with the team on these new builder block designs?
Well, I think it's nearly 2 years since we first started talking about it. I mean, 18 months to 2 years. Obviously, I think they were due out last September or something, but then the pandemic happened, so everything's been delayed.
Yeah.
So it's just so exciting to finally get to play with these myself and share them with everybody else.
It's absolutely fantastic. If anyone doesn't know what our builder blocks are, basically we've done all of the work for you guys in the measuring, the accuracy. We even do it so you cut the dog ears are cut off when you're cutting these through your die cutting machine as well. They're brilliant, isn't it? And the first one I want to work on is the windmill, because I think this one is great, and it's a good thing for curves, isn't it, Becky? Jo, sorry, I will keep calling you Becky because I'm not used to having more than one person with me.
It's okay,
but for working with curves, it's a great one, isn't it? Because it's all the accuracy's there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think a lot of other, patchwork patterns you can cut out with straight lines and strips and squares and things, so you can use your rotary cutter. But when you've got to do curve templates, they're always a bit of a pain to cut out, and it's really difficult to get them accurate. But it's also really important to get them accurate. So this was amazing for me, and this whole thing, I can show you what I've made with them, and it went together like a dream.
That's absolutely gorgeous. And the difference as well, so I've got the placemat here where we've used our plain blenders, but just the difference there, we're using the patterns. And I know we were talking before the show about fussy cutting as well. You like to do on this sort of style, it gives you that opportunity.
I think to show off larger prints as well, because there's lots of space here to, if you've got a really pretty floral or something, or these are great, very apt at the moment. It's called sunburst, and it's like beach umbrellas and beach balls and ladies in bikinis and things. So, you can have a lot of fun with the sort of fabric that you maybe don't get a chance to use so much with patchwork, because you've got this nice big chunk of curve here that you've got space to really show off those prints.
And people like to use ditzy prints a lot, don't they, for patchwork? So it's nice to get those sort of bolder prints out.
Yes, absolutely.
Shall we go ahead and get some do some cutting?
Let's do something.
Get some cut out. So I've got our blenders here. So I've got a mixture of colours, and what I'm saying, we're going to put together one of these placemats and just show you how easy it is. So if you want to grab the plates,
I'm going to be your glamorous assistant.
You're going to, so I'm using the new fabric plate here. So you want to have a clear plate and then the A plate on top. So
clear plate and then the A plate.
Yeah. So if we stick it, shall we put it here in the middle?
Oh yeah. Let's
and
do
then
that.
we'll cut these out. Right. So I've got, now I'm being a rebel, I'm going through 8 layers of fabric. I'm always a rebel, and Becky's laughing at me over there because she knows how much of a rebel I am.
I accidentally cut 9 layers out and it worked absolutely perfectly. Maybe it was a finer fabric, but I didn't mean to do 9. One of them got in there accidentally, but it completely worked.
So the other thing, now, I've laid mine on here. See, I'm very frugal with my
very
fabric.
Frugal. I was a bit nervous to be that frugal.
Yeah. So the good thing though, and this is one thing that you liked in the instructions, wasn't it? When you get the instructions...
When you can read them. When you bother to read them. I'm not very good at reading instructions. Lots of people probably aren't.
It's this section here, isn't it, where there's asterisks on the numbers. So when you're making a design, if I get like the design there, these are cut sort of like a mirror image.
Yeah.
So when it's
great with the solids. It's not a problem because you can just flip those over. But I was using prints, and you really have to think about how these go together, because they, as I say, one's one side, and it's the same die, but you've got to have. You've got to cut it at the right side of the fabric, and then you've got to put it through on the wrong side of the fabric to get the mirror image.
Yeah.
And so once you've worked this out, once you've read the instructions, it's very clear if you actually bother to read them. Not like me being really lazy, but because these are both the same, I can't put them next to each other. They won't fit. They would fit like that, you see.
Right.
So what you need to do is you just need to double your fabric over so it's right size together before you put it through.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that with the solids, but that's why I've got all these left over, because I had to then recut the right way.
They'll come in for another project as well, because we don't throw our scraps away, do we? Right. So I've got these laid on here. Now I'm putting our B plate on.
Okay.
And then out of the clear plate. So the one thing, a top tip that I have is that if you're using your small pieces like that, and you are worried that it'll move, so we just put just some low tack tape, and you're just going to stick onto the die and then put it onto the metal. So your outside waste doesn't matter so much on there, and then that's going to keep it in place and it's not going to move.
That's great, though. I have to say I was amazed at how they very rarely moved anyway, because I thought they would move when I was, especially if I was being a bit frugal, and I thought, that it might move. They hardly ever moved. It was magic. Right,
It is magic.
It's magic.
Our Gemini.
It's a magic machine.
Is magic. It's fabulous. It is fabulous. And the other thing with these as well, now I've brought them with me. Just to quickly show you, I brought my junior plates. Ooh. So I just wanted to show everyone that if you've got a junior and not the big machine, let me get rid of those.
Right, so well, even though you're being frugal,
they're actually going to fit on. So if I just grab that die, they are going to fit on, and that's the biggest die. So they are going to fit on your junior as well. So if you have got the junior, it will go through them as well. Yeah, right. So let's get rid of them.
That's your pieces.
And then the other thing, what you're going to do now, this placemat that I'm making here, it's one of the designs in the booklet. So in the booklet you get 3 projects in there to do, as well as how to put together a 12.5-inch unfinished block. And also here it's giving you instructions here of how to put them all together. So we've got the quilt, the full quilt. We've got the placemats, and we've also got the fabulous, if anyone's noticed it, my sewing machine cover, which is absolutely amazing. I love this. Shall I turn it round so everyone can see it?
Yeah.
Let's have a go. There we go. Look at that.
It's so beautiful,
It's fab. So now I've moved everything for the shot now. I'll be getting in trouble off Charlotte and me for moving everything. Look at that. It's amazing. And you get that pattern in with the one, and this one's really versatile for the size of your machine as well, because you've got ties on the side as well. So size wise, we've thought it's not going to just fit one machine. So to put them together, see what I keep waving about here, Jo. Our magnetic pin, because you haven't even mentioned them. So this you get the amazing, aren't they? How long have you had a magnetic pin dish, Jo?
Well, I've always wanted one, and it's one of those things that I kept forgetting to buy. And then when Crafter's Companion sent me up the dies, this was in the box. I was like, oh my God, I finally got just throwing my pins over the all the time.
Absolutely
brilliant.
Fab. I'm going to be a rebel.
And they're so cute. These pins with like a little
gorgeous.
Button. I love them.
Honestly, I've been going on and on for weeks about them, and for months in the head office to get some. So you've dropped your pins on the floor. What do? You get your magnetic tray.
Do I haven't even tried doing that with them yet,
you just
but
go
I'm
around
do that now.
and pick them all up. So when you drop them on the floor, because sometimes you do knock stuff
all
off
the
on
time,
the floor,
not
don't
sometimes,
you?
like daily.
You've got your pins there, nice and safe. I just love them. I've been so excited. I mean, you think, who can get excited about pins?
Oh yeah, I can.
Definitely.
We can.
We can. Right, so we've got these pieces cut out, and what I'm going to do is just lay them out. Now, the one thing I always say is, whenever you're doing a design, lay them out as you're going to stitch them. Is that what you do as well, Jo?
Yeah,
so you're not getting mixed up?
Absolutely, and with some of these, not this one so much, but I think it was the Compass Gem one, you've really got to think about that one. There's lots of different pieces, and they're smaller and there's more of them. So I laid them all out, and then I took a photo of it as well with my smartphone, and then that meant that when I was starting to sew them together, I couldn't get confused. I could always refer to where everything was going to go. This one does take a little bit of thinking about, so I think you've definitely got to plan this out, because another thing was that I started to sew these bits together after I'd done those, and that's not right at all. So you've got to think about it and refer to your workshop, your workbook there.
It's definitely good, because, and the other thing I do as well, you said about taking photos on the phone, if I'm not sure about my colour scheme, I'll take a photo and then I'll change it go into the editing app on my phone, and I can change it to, is it monotone or
like
so
put
it's
it into black and white. That's a great
And it
tip.
shows it like grayscale. So if you ever, if you're wanting to get a certain design, or if you think, actually, is that going to stand out? Is that colour going to stand out? Or is it going to be too dull or too blended towards this colour? You can do that on your phone and you can see a different effect. So what I've done there is I've laid it all out, and then the trick is, if you look in the booklet, it tells you how to put your pieces together. Now we do.
You're not putting these bits on because you're just making this circular one, so you're missing that bit out. Yeah.
So I'm actually only using 2 dies.
But you're not really doing any curved piecing with this. There's no curved piecing. This at all.
But it looks like it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really doesn't think I'm going to be. It's got curves in it, so I'm going to do curved pieces. It's actually straight stitching, and we actually show you how to put the pieces together. So the first thing you do is sew 2 of these together, and then put your triangle on the corner. So in effect, if I move these away, it's going to be this. So we're going to sew, you're going to sew those 2 together like that, and then you're going to sew that one on, and you're going to have 4 of them. So it's a bit like a pizza. I know we shouldn't talk about food because me and Joe's tummies will start rumbling again. So you've got 4 quarters here, and then you're going to sew 2 together and 2 together. Is that how you normally do it? Like 2s and 2s and 2s? Yeah. And then you've got 2 halves again. So you always tend to be working in 2s, or sometimes a 3. If you do like a 9 patch, you end up with a 3, don't you?
I'm also a big fan of chain piecing, so I would kind of piece all these together, you know, do it and so I think that's a bit more efficient.
And it is, because you're saving thread
and you save thread,
well.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. So in good old-fashioned softer side style, I've been sewing the last few days. I've had an absolute ball preparing for this show. Yeah. So here's one that I've done here. So I've sewn off. I'll show you the back. I don't mind showing you the back of my work. We'll see there where it was in 2. So I'd sewn them together, got them in half, sewn straight across there, and then opened it up. Now, I always sew my seams, press my seams to the side. Are you a side presser or are you an open presser?
I'm very definitely a side presser, and I feel quite strongly about it. You'll find in my book there's actually like a whole paragraph, got a chapter bit on why you should press your seams to one side. On the whole, there's a few occasions, but yeah, absolutely. And I love to nest seams as well. And you haven't really got the opportunity to do it here because of the curve, but I did actually bring some samples in. Here they are, that one, and I think, here we go. So when
yes, if you saw the sort of curved section there.
So with these ones, you're missing this out when you make the placemat. But if you're making the quilt or any of the other, the full 12-inch block, you've got this is your curved. It's a lovely gentle curve. I would say it's a great introduction to curve piecing. But what I did with them, because they're all different prints, was I took them over to the ironing board once I'd sewn them all, just to check exactly where they were going to go. And then I'll just show you the other side. So I pressed. If these are the 2 that are going to go together next in pairs, I press 1 in one direction and 1 in the other direction, because I love some nesting seams, and that means then these seams beautifully nest together, and it means that you're going to really get your points spot on, because they kind of interlock together when you nest. So that was just one of my tips for when you actually do the curve piecing.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, because I think you always kick yourself if your seams don't match, and it isn't the end of the world, is it?
No, it's not the end of the world.
You shouldn't beat yourself up over it. But as stitchers,
mine didn't all match, but you know, you try and do the best you can.
I was looking when I first did this. That was like way out, and I was like, I can't do that.
I think we've all got our levels, haven't we? It's like, is that an unpicking one, or can I live with it? Definitely.
And then with this one, what you need to do is put a back on. Now on the instructions, it gives you the full back. You're going to put them right sides together. Put some wadding in. Use your stick and spray, because we've got our stick and spray on the show. Put your wadding in, sew all the way around, leave a gap and turn it through. Now, an alternative method, if you're not comfortable with hand sewing, or you get a little bit, you know, scared of it, what you could do is like an envelope back, like a cushion style.
That's a good idea.
And you don't even have to do any seams. So what I've got here, I've got some of our navy, and I just cut, I've got the slightly bigger width than the circle, and I've just pressed it in half, and I've just popped it over like that, and then the same with this one, I've just pressed it in half. So you'd press it right sides together, wrong sides together, right, sorry, if you were using solids, and then you're going to overlap on there. So if I turn that over,
haven't even had to do any hemming, have you?
No, you've got no hemming. So once you've done this bit, you're sewing, and then all you would do on the machine is you would sew all the way around here. And you've got the gap for turning through at the back.
And then you just cut it out afterwards.
And then trim it round,
So
and
nice and easy.
So later on, when you're having a chat with Becky, I'm going
do
to
that.
sew. I'm going to sew
Yeah.
around here and have this one finished. I'll give it a nice
That's a
press.
really good idea, because it's nice to have these extra layers as well, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the placemat, you want it to be a bit more
Yes.
sturdy. So doubling them up, that's a really good
and
idea,
put
Bernie.
Sort of
Love it.
insulating wadding in as well.
Yeah,
So you have the heat if you want to. Any of that. You'd put your wadding on the back of your circle, trim it. But otherwise, and then I say you've got no more holes then, because your gaps in here. Once you turn through, so when you're chatting with Becky later on, I'm gonna just, I need to keep busy for 6 or 7 minutes, so I'm gonna do a bit of sewing. So how's that? Is that all right, Becky? If I do some sewing later when you're having a chat with Jo?
Is it going to be a bit noisy though?
I'd be shocked if you weren't, to be honest.
I'll be extra quiet.
Perfect. If you have been inspired and your creative mind is going wild, let me give to you the opportunity to get this wonderful Jo Avery book. This book is truly for anyone. If you have thought about doing quilting before, but maybe you haven't actually gone to that extent yet, this is your chance to get involved with it. We have got in here so many treats and goodies, and just to let you know, it is so beautifully clear. I love the way that Jo's organised this. It takes everything step by step, including on previous pages the tools you're going to need, how to actually care for and look after your pieces once you've made them. And it's not just about patchwork quilts, which is of course beautiful, very traditional. There's also other projects in here, so you can create covers for books and so much more. There is a wealth of knowledge in here, and just to let you know, with over 125 pages, you are not going to be strapped for inspiration. To get all of that information within here for just £20.99 or $30.99 is incredible. Don't forget, if you're platinum, it's even less, and it's your final day for double points. If you are going to be making, for example, cushions, you may well want to be treating yourself to some of your zips on a roll. If you've not seen these before, they are so workable. Essentially what you're going to be getting is your long length of the actual zip itself, and then you're getting 10 of the pull tabs themselves. So all you need really to use this is a pair of scissors. You cut it to the size you want, whether it's a tiny section or a really long section. This one here for you is your black colour. We have also got in this collection your cream colour for you. And again, just to show you, all the zips come on here in one, so it's really easy. You don't have to worry about threading them. Then I've got your grey colour here as well. This one I think is going to work beautifully with some of the fabrics I've got coming up. I love the greys and teals together, very chic indeed. And last but by no means least of the bold colours, we have got your red. I will let you know we have also got a denim blue colour for you, which Bernie will be demoing with. I do just want to let you know that some of these are limited stock. In fact, just before the show, the white colour did sell out. So if you've got your eye on any of these, now is your time to be checking those ones out. So if you do fancy it, just a little heads up there. Pick which ones are perfect for you. Now, if you do love the look of these builder blocks, but you're thinking, I just want to start off slowly and maybe give myself a try, I have got these separately for you. You've got the compass one first up. This is your compass gem, and these ones are creating this lovely, almost movement piece, if that makes sense. So we are bringing to you this one here. It's $34.99 or $39.95. And just to let you know, it teaches you how to make those three elements within there. The instructions are wonderful, but the fabulous thing about this is not only are you going to be getting those 4 dies within there and the instructions, you've got the opportunity to really work with different patterns in this too. So there's so much more to be made. Not only that, we've got your Eastham one as well. The Eastham design, I think, so wonderful. It can be quite traditional and quite modern as well. And in here, you're going to get taught loads. Again, you've got the cushion, the table runner as well within there. And last but by no means least, you have got that windmill design, and this is the one that we were talking about a moment ago. Really nice curve within this, and that's one on platinum prices, by the way. These are only $27.99, which is incredible because you're getting so many dies within here. And then for those of you who've been chomping at the bit to get your hands on the magnetic dish and the pins, I've got them separately for you as well. These are fabulous. They are going to save you time, especially if you're like me and you like to craft. and your dog or cat likes to get involved, it's going to be time saving. It's also, a lot of work has gone into these, making those pins just perfect. And remember, when you're treating yourself to these today as well, they're going to last a long time. You're not using them in the pin cushion, so they're not going to dull down as quickly. So you've got really long lasting products there, all for just $8.99 or $11.95. If you do one, if you're like, oh Bex, I want them all, oh, treat yourself. Go on, it's a Sunday, you deserve it. You've worked hard. You can treat yourself to all of them in together. A massive discount on this, as you can see, should be nearly £115 today though, just £85 or £68 if you are platinum, $78.40. So you seize the moment on which ones you want. Do not forget about grabbing that book as well, because there's helpful hints and tips in here that will really help you on your journey. So do feel free to seize the moment on whichever one of those collections you want. So shall we head on over and see what the lovely ladies are up to? Jo and Bernie, I can see that you've just been going, ooh, at loads of things. What have you got for us?
I'm in the element, Becky. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so next, Jo and I have got the Compass Gem. And look, I mean, this is amazing.
Oh, love it.
Absolutely stunning cushion. If we have a look, shall we have a look on the overhead?
Oh yeah,
over there,
that way as well.
Zoom in. He's Charlotte with the super zooming skills. Watch this,
yeah,
Jo.
told me about this.
Watch this.
Oh yeah.
So look, I mean, even so, what you've done here is obviously I don't want to say a plain fabric, but a plain, less busy fabric than the other one.
It's what I call a blender fabric.
Yeah.
It's got a small pattern on it, but it really kind of places as a solid almost. But it's got quite almost like a chalky effect, I think.
Yes,
So
and
it
then
just
the
makes it more
quilting
interesting.
as well. You've
that's
quilted
kind of
the
added
individual pieces, which I think just makes it pop even more.
Well, I used rulers really to go in line with the pieces, and then it's kind of brought in these extra. Yeah, it's kind of made it more three-dimensional, hasn't it? Really,
definitely.
It's already quite a three-dimensional pattern. So I think that was fun to do.
Isn't that? It's absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do, well, I've already pre-cut this one just for time, because what me and Jo want to do is give you lots and lots of hints and tips. I know I always do throughout the show, but I thought, well, while we've got Jo here as well, we'll just pick your brains, Jo, and get as much info out of you as possible, because I think when you're learning as well, any hints and tips that you can pick up is really good, isn't it? And it gives you that, that bit more confidence.
You get them from, you've got to kind of collect them from everybody, haven't you? Because everyone knows something. They've learned something and remember to tell you it,
So with this one, I've got the dies out here, and what I've done is I've got my the A4 plate, and I brought my junior plate out as well, just so you can actually see that, again, these are going to fit on your junior plates as well. So they are going to go through there as well. So if you have only got the junior machine, well, not only the junior machine, because they're all fabulous, but if you've got the smaller machine, sometimes you think the multimedia dies won't actually fit on there. So what I thought I'd do on this one was do the 12.5-inch block. So this is possibly the first thing you're going to do in the booklet. When I get things like this, Jo, I like to start at the beginning and sort of work my way through.
Yeah.
And it's I think I don't
That's
know if
sensible.
I think because it's like very methodical. I don't know if that's the way. I know it's the way I work.
Making a practice block is always a good idea anyway. So actually, just to make one of the 12.5-inch blocks before you start to make any of the projects is a really good idea. I mean, if it turns out well, then and you're making a quilt, then it goes into the quilt. But I think just to make sure it's working and it's working for you. Obviously, we can tell you it's working because we've both done it, so we know that. But I think I think it's a really good idea. But that's what I did. I just made that made a block and then decided what I was going to do afterwards. So I wanted to just play with it, really.
Yes, and see what happens, and then you sort of you get inspired then, don't you?
Yeah.
And what I like to do is I have my booklet here. So if I bring the book down here, so you can see, there we go. I'm looking here at, this is the design here, and I'm actually going to make one of these blocks here. So if I turn it to say, so if I follow this one here, I know that I've got my pieces in the correct place again before I start stitching. So I'm going to lay them all
really
out.
Have to think about this one. And again, you have to remember the same thing if you're using prints. There's still a mirror image.
Yes.
So read it.
Read, yeah. Always read the instructions.
Always read the instructions. We're so bad with manuals, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. You just want to dive straight in and get sewing, don't you?
Let's cut them and sew them back together again.
So, there's my
That's so pretty.
block.
I love that.
The colours are really
Really
great, aren't
nice,
they?
yeah.
And then what we have in the instructions is it tells you which pieces are going to go sew together. So I'm going to do a little bit of sewing, and then, if you don't mind, Jo, would you do a little bit of pressing for me?
Oh, yes. I can certainly do that.
Brilliant.
Anything you need.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting right sides together here. Now, I mentioned at the start when we looked at the windmill, the doggy is being cut off.
I didn't even think about that until after I'd done it. I was like, I haven't had to cut, normally with these sort of angles, you've always got to cut dog ears off. And it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing you don't have to think about. It's already been done for you.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this machine and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch down there. Now, when I do patchwork, I normally do a 2 mil stitch length. Is that do you do a shorter stitch length?
Probably 2.2 I think I use most of the time. So very, very similar, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, that's kind of my default, definitely.
That's it. So I'm just going to stitch down here.
Yeah, and it's quite a skill doing that standing up burning. I have done it, so I understand. I don't think people appreciate how
I've had
good you are at multitasking here.
I've had lots of practice now every week. Sewing, standing up. I was going to say stand on my head. Stand up on it. No, don't. I'm not giving anyone ideas.
Right.
So there we go. So if I move these along, so if I give you that to press, and then, so when you're pressing, how do you normally do it?
Well, I think, because these are going to be quite a long and, got a bit of a bias edge to, actually I'm not sure, that white one has got a bit of a bias edge. I think what's quite a good thing to do is actually to set the seam first. So actually to press the seam shut, which seems a bit like counterintuitive, but it's really helpful with long seams, and also and which way are we going to do this? I'm going to do this way. So usually you then press so that your seam sits under the darker side. Not always, but I think that works with this one. So I always then, once I've set it, I don't do it to all seams, but especially bias ones or long ones, then I would always press it from the front, because what you really want to do, especially when the new patchwork, is you want to make sure you've opened that seam out properly. Now a lot of people, they just say, oh, don't press much at all, just do that. But I like a press, so I don't, So, but it's really important that you open the seam out and you don't press it and then you've still got some of the seam in there, because that can mean the whole thing doesn't work very well. So let's do your second one.
So, on this one, I just want to show you, I was sort of sewn on one leg, on an angle sideways.
Oh yes.
And you can see here that I've gone off,
I
haven't gone my 1/4 inch. So one thing I would do then is I would re-sew that. I wouldn't unpick it.
No.
Because you're playing with bias edges, aren't you? So you can get everything out to shape.
If you're pressing to one side, you don't need to unpick it, because that other bit's just in the seam anyway.
Yes.
That's another reason for always pressing your seams to one side.
Yeah, so I won't stitch that one again now, because we'll be all right. But so if that happens,
I won't judge you.
Thank you. just stitch it again. As long as it's in the seam,
exactly.
it's going to be hidden.
I do that all the time.
Brilliant. Right, so now I'm going to put my pieces back in the design. So again, I'm going back to the book. So this is the one I'm doing, the second one in here, and I'm putting my pieces back there. And you automatically want to go like that and put them two together, but
don't do that.
We don't do that. What we do now is put these bottom pieces on, and again, the dog ears have been planned. So when you pop this one here, it lines up
absolutely perfectly. And I can't tell you how wonderful an experience it was piecing. So I was actually doing it all last weekend. I did all the blocks then through the whole week. I think I did like one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday. It was really hot. So I would have been really grumpy if they hadn't worked out, because I was already hot, So it was working brilliantly.
That's the good thing, isn't it, about it, having that, because then you know it's accurate if you've done it. Oh yes, please. Sorry, that's all right.
I'm slacking.
I'm putting this back on here to make sure that I get this the right way. So let me pop that one. There we go. So I know I need to have a straight edge here.
Yeah.
So there we go. So I'll pop, and again, pop that on there. Now this is the one where I had too long a seam allowance. So if you struggle with your seam allowances, you can see here, you can just see a little bit of white there, and that's because my seam allowance is too small. But obviously we've left that, but that's how that's what would happen. So when you are stitching together, if you see that, you know, it's not fitting, why is it not fitting? These dies are supposed to fit. That's the thing, to have a double check of your seam allowance.
Yeah.
Now, what I tend to say is get 2 pieces of fabric, sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance on your machine, take it out and measure it.
Yeah. Well, I would say do 4 pieces of fabric. Because, you know, if you're up to real accuracy, then 4 pieces and measure them. Because, and actually, even as a quite experienced patchworker, it's good to do that every now and then, because you can you think you're doing a 1/4 inch seam and something's just sort of slipped a little bit as you've been working, or maybe the guide on your side of your foot or something.
Or you could knock your settings as well, couldn't you, accidentally?
Exactly, yeah. Or, you know, you've just judging it differently yourself. So it's good to kind of keep doing that and just double checking you know, that you are actually doing 1/4 inch. And actually what you want is a scant 1/4 inch seam.
Yes. Now, on my machine, I'll either have 5.5 or 6, depending on where I'm going to put it.
Right, yeah, mine...
6 tends to be more scant.
Mine's different. I make mine 8.8, but it's a different machine.
That's a big posh machine, that is.
Yeah.
Now, so we were talking before about nested seams.
Yeah, I should have...
So what's happened here is we've got them both going the same way.
The thing is, they kind of want to go that way because of that seam, but they will go the other way. So probably best, I would just repress that. And I wasn't thinking, and actually I would sew it and then I would press it afterwards, because you can just push it that way when you're sewing it. I do a lot of fingernail pressing too.
I do as well.
You don't need to press everything when you're sitting at the machine. You do a lot of finger pressing and then press the main things.
Yeah, and if you're unsure when you are, because obviously we want to join these seams so they match, this is where I can feel that that's nested in there. Pop a pin in or pop 2 pins in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can, if you only have 1 in, it might go a little bit of a wobble.
Because it can shift when you get up to it. That's a really good, actually, that's a good idea to put 2 in.
So I'll put 2 in. So one's going through this seam, and then this one is going through that seam on the back.
Definitely, that's a good one, Bernie. I haven't tried doing 2 pins. I'm going to do that one. I'm learning loads from it.
I know, I am as well. When I go home, I'm going to be testing my 1/4 inch 4 times.
I love how nerdy our conversation is.
I know, if anyone who didn't know about sewing, it's like tuned in and they'll be thinking, what
language are they talking?
What are they talking about? So I'll just quickly sew up here. So I'm sewing these 2, and then the last bit, I've got that little pink triangle to sew on the end. On the bottom here, so we'll quickly, we might not stitch that on actually for time, because I'm going to show them.
We're running out of time. But that's looking lovely. Look how beautiful your point is there.
Look at that. And that's because we put those 2 pins in.
Yeah, and nested.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all you do then is sew this one along the bottom. I won't sew this one, I'll just lay it on, but I just want to lay the block out to show you. But again, can you see? And because I've done accurate 1/4 inch seams here, that was where it was a bit narrow.
Yeah.
Look at that fitting perfectly again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely perfectly. So you're going to sew that on the bottom there, and then you're going to make 4 of those. But obviously in your colours, I've done some in the green.
I love this one too. I love greens and pink.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? And this, I love this hot pink. I think this is hot pink. That's how Lizzie says it, hot pink. So you're going to put them together like that, and there's your design.
Yeah.
So you've got it there. The other thing as well is when you see that, you think, I haven't sewn that right because it doesn't go at the end. That's your 1/4 inch seam allowance, isn't it? So when you've got these...
Don't worry about it, it works perfectly.
Extra bits here, they're all your seam allowances. So you're going to drop, but before you join together, play with it. Do you want them in different ways? Do you want them... Do you want it going all that way? It's a totally different design. That's it. The more you play with it. And I just want to show one sample here. This is one of the ones that this like sort of wall hanging big. I mean, that is stunning.
Yeah,
and that pattern's in the booklet as well. So it just shows you a different way of doing it and mixing the fabrics. But make something like this and then try that quilting like Jo, you did on your cushion. With your rulers,
totally
you can get in all of those different colours and then make it pop even more. I just think, honestly, Jo, I think they are amazing. Thank you so much for designing these with the team.
Yeah, it's a collaboration, definitely.
I've done, I got involved so far through the process doing some testing and, and once I saw them, I was like, these are going to be fab.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely
really
love them. So thank you so much.
Doing brilliant.
And, you know, I know you're going to come back later on as well with Becky.
Yes.
But yeah, so Becky, I'm a little bit in awe now. I'm a little bit starstruck.
Who else wants to get out their sewing machine like right this second? Yeah, there's loads of you getting involved with us. Hello to Tammy saying it's her first time watching Softer Side today and really loving the show so far. Tammy, if you've never shopped with us before, or if you are new, I know there's quite a few people. Hi, how are you? My name's Becky. The lovely Bernie and Jo with us today. If you do want to get us, we're all over social media and you can shop with us. You've got your Crafts Companion, depending on where you're from. You can use the .eu, .co.uk or .com, and that's the way to get involved. I'm going to be back with Jo in about 10 minutes, and I know that a few of you have sent some questions in. We'll run some of those questions past the lovely Jo shortly. Do keep those messages coming, and we love hearing from you. And if you have been inspired, this is the book that can help you push that next level. The great thing with this book is it is the basics. So if you are brand new, you're covered. But I don't know if this is just me. Sometimes when I've been doing a certain type of craft, for example, for a long period of time, I find that I can get into kind of bad habits. This is a great one if you've been quilting or patchworking for a while and you just want to refresh those skills. We have got for you a massive amount in here, again, to keep you really inspired. And I will let you know this book does include patterns. So there's loads of help in this. It is just £20.99 or $30.99, remembering that it is double points today, final day of it. If you would love to get crafting, and again, you're anything like me, you can't just sit down and make one thing. Oh no, you need to craft and craft and craft. And let me tell you, we have got the opportunity for you to do that when you're getting a massive amount of your fat quarters. We have got 15 in this bundle, 15 colours in total, and the quality of this fabric is sublime. It's truly sensational. Sometimes when you're getting fabrics like this, especially in your lighter colours, you'll get that kind of transfer of light through. With these, that's not it at all. It's the real quality. In fact, earlier on actually, I just before we came on air, I was testing it, and my test is I do this in shops as well. I get my phone light out and I shine it through, and even on the lighter colours you could hardly see that light through. Great quality you've got here, and again you're getting 15 pieces of these back quarters, and it is just $34.99 or $39.95. Do you want the individual colours? Head on over to our website and pick which ones you want. Remembering that a lot of these, I have to show you these, I've had messages in about these, knowing that a lot of these, the colours that we've used, you may well say, that's my colour scheme, Beck. So actually what I'm going to want is, I'm going to want to grab more of the hot pink, and I'm going to want more of those coral colours to be able to create it. So if you do have a colour scheme, then do go onto our website and shop those ones individually if you wish. If you would like to make sure that your pieces are precise, of course we've got the die cuttings for you in that builder block. But did you know you can also get precision with our fabulous shape creator? And this does what it says on the tin. If you want to create hexagons, you've got it here to be done. Even the likes of circles you can do with this. Using the corners here, fold your fabric to the size it says, and using the corners you get different sizes and shapes on your circles. Precision each time, and so easy to use with your rotary cutter. So today we've got the big one for you. This is great if you've got space at home, if you maybe want to create those bigger looking pieces. But if you do maybe have a smaller work area, if you're like myself and you kind of craft from room to room, then let me suggest to you the junior. Same kind of situation. Instructions come with this, by the way, so you don't have to worry at all. The instructions are all on there. And do you know what I really like too? There's even instructions written on the board. So if for some reason you do lose your kind of photographic one, it's all absolutely depicted in there. So this one helps you get those wonderful, even and professional finishes every single time, quicker than it would be if you were to use your tailor's chalk and try and do it that way. So it's a great bit of a kit there. That one for you today is discounted. It's just £20.79 or $23.96. Double points, don't forget, final day of it today. And platinum price is there on screen, so you can treat yourself again. We have so many treats on screen, but my eye keeps getting caught by just new things that Bernie keeps picking up. What on earth is that one now?
This is my fabulous cushion. So anyone who's been watching over the last few weeks, you'll have seen that I've been making this in part every week. So I used our kaleidoscope dies to make the centre square. Now, alternatively, you could substitute with one of Jo's die sets. You've got that 12.5 inches, so, and that's what this one is. So you could substitute it and put your own design in the middle. But then what I've done is I've used our strip rolls. So the first week we did the block, and then the second week we used the strip rolls to do the borders around the outside, and we mitered the corners. So if I show you, can you see how that corner is pointed there? You've got that stitch line up the middle. So beautifully mitered corners with the miter tool. We've got that. And then today I'm going to show you how to put this super chunky piping around the outside. So the first thing I did was I needed to prepare my fabric from binding. Now, I've got one of the, let me pop that over there. I've used one of the strip rolls here. But you don't actually need the full width of this, so you need to trim it down. So what I'm going to do is trim it down, and you could cut this off your meterage as well. Now here, I know Becky's just showing you the two sizes there. Let me show you them for comparison. We've got the Shape Creator, which goes up to 16 inches on the grid, and then we've got the Junior. So again, size-wise, if you haven't got the room, or you want to take it to classes or what have you, you might want the junior size one, which goes up to 8.5. Okay, and then what these are is you've got all these slits in here, and what these slits are for is your rotary blade to go through all of these slits to cut. Now, if you struggle with your rotary cutter, what you need is something to give you a helping hand, and that's what this does. So if I just fold this up so we can get it under the Shape Creator. So I've just folded that up into 4. And then what this does is this goes over the top, so it helps you cut and you're not going to wobble. So I'm just going to grab my rotary cutter. And at this end here, it starts from 0. So what I want to do is I want to trim a little bit off this side. So I want to make this 2 inches in effect. It's 2.5 at the minute. So I say you can cut them off your sort of meterage of fabric. Press that on. So you can see how the blade just went straight up there, and it's trimmed off the sort of the raggedy edge, if you like. You always want to neaten up your fabric. If I had a ruler at this point, I would have to turn it and move it. But with this one, all I'm going to do is just move my body slightly and then back in, up the other side. And when I lift this off, you haven't moved any of the fabric, it hasn't moved at all, and then you've got a perfect now 2-inch strip on there. And this, like Becky was saying about having all the instructions on here, you can cut your strips with this. You buy your strips. You've got squares, triangles, circles, which I'm going to use shortly for the corners for my cushion, because if you look at the cushion, my corners, they're rounded. They're not a right angle, they're not a 90 degree, so they're rounded. And really, when you're putting piping around a cushion, you really want to have that little bit of rounded on there, so it sits nicely. It doesn't, if you try and do it on a 90 degree, it can look quite harsh. You can have like a big fold here or a big crease, and it doesn't really look very nice. So having that nice curve, which has got on the corners of here, we've got all different size curves. That's how we're going to round the corners. So I'll round those off first, and then we've got that ready. So you've got your back for your cushion. What you're going to use is, now this is why Becky didn't have the denim blue zip on a roll, because I've loaned it. I've loaned it here. So with the zips on a roll, obviously you'll get it in a box, and you're getting 5 meters of zippage, if you like, and you're getting 10 sliders on there. So you can make zips any length you want, up to obviously 5 meters. And these they're really, really good. If you go and buy, even if you went to buy sort of a 7-inch, 8-inch zip in the shop, you could be looking at, you know, £152 for one. That's for one 7-inch zip. So yeah, it's not It's not good. It's not good. So zips on a roll are the way to go. So I've got you're going to have your back and pieces for your for your backing. I've just got one piece here just so I can show you the curve. And then what I want to do is I want to curve the corner. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my shape creator on the corner here. And then what I'll do is just cut around. I'm cutting around the 4-inch one here. No, my edge wasn't very straight. You'll have nice straight edges on yours. And then when I take this off, look at that. We've got a perfect rounded corner. Now you do that on all 4 sides of your cushion back once you've inserted your zip in. But this curve is really, really helpful for putting the binding on. So to start with the binding, I'll just pop to the side a second. So we want our strip of fabric. And then you're going to get some piping. Now, it comes in all different sizes. Now, I've only got a little piece here to show you because I've used most of it on my cushion. But this, actually, I didn't buy it as binding. It's like curtain tie-back cord. It's got like a bit of a sheen on it. But you could use rope. You could use really, really thick wool as well if you've got some really thick wool that you're never going to use. You know, you've got that bag of wool somewhere as a crafter. We all have it. You can use that as well. Anything that's going to make the section. So if I sort of fold that over, can we see there how we've got that piped edge on there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your zipper foot on the machine and you're going to stitch all the way down here, but you don't want to be too close here. You want to keep it a little bit away because you're going to stitch it again when you put it to the fabric. So I've got one here. So here's a piece that I've got stitched here. So you can see here that we've got it stitched there like that. And then what you're going to do, now I'm going to do this just with pins, just so you can see it on the actual cushion. You're going to keep your zipper foot on the machine. Oh, let's go on the other corner because that's my selvage. And you're going to start stitching like this. So you're going to put raw edges together. You're going to have your zipper foot on the machine. Move your needle along a little bit as well. So you're going to sew over here. So you're going to sew up to here. And if I just so I've got my fabulous pins. Let me just pin it. I was thrilled to know that Jo's now got a magnetic dish and she's always wanted one. That's amazing. There we go. So you're going to stitch, let me get that in. You're going to stitch on your machine all the way up to here. And then when you get to here, what you're going to do, I'm just going to turn this so I can do it. If you think it's going to go around that curve, but as it goes around the curve, can you see how this is lifted? So what you do is you just snip into it. And you don't want to just almost at the stitches, but not right on the stitches. So you're just going to snip in like that. There we go. And then what you'll find then is that now when you match up your raw edges, wow, look at that. Can you see how now that lies flat because we trimmed into those edges? So you're going to stitch all the way around to get this onto your cushion. And you can do this onto either your back piece or onto your front piece. And then once you've got that all stitched all the way around, you'll then put your right sides together. And again, stitch round again, obviously leave your zip open, or you could do an envelope back, so similar like we did on the placemat that we did. So you've got that gap to pull through. Stitch all the way around and then pull it through. And then once you've done that, you will have the perfect piped edged cushion. Absolutely fab. So if you've always wanted to try piping, give it a go. Even if you use a thinner one, you don't get as big an effect, but it might be trim on a shirt pocket or something like that, or even incorporate into your quilts as well. Have that little bit of piping in there. Just have a little, like Jo was saying earlier on about techniques, have a little bit of a practice. Just use any fabric just to have a go. But once you start making this, and I posted this picture online a few days ago, and I know there was a lot of comments that came back about saying how much the piping actually set off the cushion. It made the cushion, and I absolutely love it, and I want to keep it, but somehow I don't think it'll stay with me for very much longer. Becky, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think A few of us have our eye on that, I'll be honest. Thank you so much for that, Bernie. It's not just myself and the team and Bernie today. We also have been joined by the wonderful Jo Avery, who has launched with us the fabulous new quilting book, and we've had those builder blocks as well on today. It is wonderful to be with you, Jo. Thank you so much for all of your hints and tips so far.
Oh, it's been such fun.
We've had loads of questions through for you. I'm going to
Okay.
start off with Christine, who's in. I'm asking you, how long have you been doing patchwork quilting, and what started your inspiration for this?
I've actually started to do patchwork when I was about 10 years old. So I've got a much older sister, and she was doing little hexagons using what we call EPP now, English paper piecing. Then it was just patchwork. She was making a cot quilt for her new baby, and I wanted to make one who was going to be my niece. Who's in her 40s now. This is a long time ago. So so I wanted to make it too. So she taught me to do it, and I really enjoyed it. I loved all sorts of sewing when I was a child. I used to make a lot of soft toys and things. And then when I sort of met my husband and settled down, I kind of got this nesting instinct, and I immediately went out and bought hexagon templates. That's what you used to do in those days.
Right.
Didn't know about rotary cutters or anything like that. And I started to make a quilt. And by the time it had got to the stage where I was ready to quilt it, I didn't really, know how to do anything about next. So I joined a local quilting group, and they showed me, were very generous and showed me how to do lots of things. And really, I've just been quilting ever since. So
That's gorgeous, isn't it? And if you are looking around the set and you're loving some of these pieces, yes, these are Jo's pieces. And actually, if you do want to learn more about them, there are patterns for certain one of these in the book that you can get today. So it's well worth treating yourself. Now, I heard a term the other day related to you that I haven't heard of before.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and pronounce it.
I don't know what this is.
I have heard that you are an Ori philosopher.
That's it, an aura philosopher.
Or a philosopher, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, please?
Well, Aurifil is a fantastic range of threads made in Italy and sold all over the world, mainly cotton threads, and they are just the best threads, basically. And I've been using them for probably nearly a decade now, and I ended up getting involved with the company and becoming a designer, which means you get to curate your own thread collection, which was a huge thrill.
That's special.
In fact, I've got 4 now, so I've done different ones over the years. And because they have such a loads of different threads, and because I have very low attention deficit, I have to constantly do new things. So I don't just patchwork and quilt, I do embroidery and crochet and everything. So I ended up using all their threads, basically, and doing different, we're using them for embroidery, hand quilting, etc. And the Aura philosophy scheme started a few years ago. The idea was to train up lots of people like quilters, like quilt shop owners, all sorts of teachers, in not just quilting, embroidery and all sorts of things, in everything about Aurifil, so that they could then, they were like, you became a certified educator, and were given this lecture that Aurifil had done, and you could take it out to groups and guilds and wherever you were locally, and give and educate people in Aurifil. So they expanded the program last year to the UK. So I'm one of only 3 UK Aura philosophers, and if you're interested in the UK, because if you're in somewhere else in the world, you will hope that they're in Canada and Australia as well. You can find out your own Aura philosopher for your country area. But in the UK, if anyone would like to have an Aura philosophy talk with me, and I'm actually developing a workshop, then get in touch.
That's fabulous. That is really, oh my gosh, what a privilege.
Yes,
I bet that's been a lot of fun.
I love working with them, and and I can't, sort of a subject I can keep talking about all day. So
I love that. Now, we have been talking about your book today, Jo, and there are so many different areas in this, including kind of the basics to really help you, but also the different projects. What has been your favourite part of writing this book? Did you have a favourite section?
Well, I mean, what I wanted to do with the book was I didn't want it just to be about quick and easy basic quilts, because I find that, well, as I say, I get bored very easily, but I think there's so much to patchwork and quilting, and what I wanted to get people started, with strips and triangles, so they had a good basic grounding. But then within this book, get them onto some more fun things like curves. So we do curve piecing, we do applique, and we do foundation paper piecing. In fact, that's the foundation paper piece project, which is a little scrappy rainbow spool notebook cover. So you can try stuff out on a very small scale without launching into a whole quilt. And then my favourite bit of the book is the last chapter, which is called Mix and Match. And what I do is I take all of those techniques that we've learned in the rest of the book and we mix them together. So for instance, this quilt here, which is called Pinball Wizard, this has got the curves, it's got the half square triangles, it's got foundation paper piecing. So yeah, I could certainly have a look at the quilt. Let's look at some more of it.
That is.
Okay, yeah. So if anybody's going to Festival Quilts, this is actually coming with me, and it's going to be hanging on the Handy Quilter pinhole quilting stand, so you can come and see it. It's kind of got a big, So
that's definitely
that
eye-catching. I absolutely adore
and
that.
the one next to you there, that again is another one at the back. I'll just show that one as well. Shall I?
Yeah, go on. Let me hand that one to you. Just look, this is also in the book if you do want to treat yourself to that book.
Put it back in. So, can you hear me, or have I put it in the wrong one?
Okay, you're good,
good. Right, don't move around too much, Jo, is the thing. So this is called Bedding Plants, and it's what's called a row quilt. So it's rows of different flowers, and again, using all the different techniques. And actually, at the moment, I'm doing what's called a quilt along, so which means it's kind of like a guided everyone's sewing this together. So this is something I'm doing through my blog and through Facebook and Instagram and things. And in fact, we're up to the tulips. We've done everything but the tulips, and we've got the crocuses to do, and then we'll be putting it all together. So there's maybe at least 100 quilters doing this alongside me, and it's a really fun way of doing it. So it means that as not just working on the book on your own, you're kind of working in a big community, and you've got me able to do blog posts and give you a little bit more inspiration. Yeah,
I just think they are fantastic. Jo, there will be so many people out there, and then we've had lots of you getting in touch. There'll be so many people out there. How can we find you on the likes of social media?
Well, so I've got a blog. That's a really good place to get, if you've got lots of time, you want to do lots of reading, then I write my blog a lot at the moment. So that's just joavery.co.uk.
Perfect.
My website is stitchgathering.co.uk. That's where I sell my Aurifil thread book, and you can get books from me there, or kits and things, and find out about classes and such. And then on the rest of social media, I'm just Jo Avery Stitch. So at Jo Avery Stitch on Instagram and Facebook.
So there it is at the bottom of your screen if you do. Yes, which is always good. So if you want to learn more, this is exactly how you're going to find Jo. Jo, thank you so much for taking time out and teaching us so much today. It's been absolutely fabulous. We really do look forward to seeing you very, very soon. It's been fab, hasn't it? We've got loads more coming up for you. Don't forget, today I have got the craft along on its way. That's starting 3 p.m. UK time or 10 a.m. Eastern. I've also got the wonderful Christmas event. Final day of your double points. They're coming up with the fish later on. And I've got Save a Stitch coming up just on the other side of this break, which will teach you a little bit more about what you can treat yourself to with your double points.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, $1 or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome back. So that's how you can get involved with our Club Inspire final day of your double points. How fantastic was Jo? Oh my goodness. If you do want to be inspired by her, don't forget I've still got loads of treats for you to be able to get your hands on today. It's that time of the show though. Oh, sure though. It's that, I went proper northern then. It's that kind of time of the show though when we get to vote on some of our makes today. What have we made, Bernie?
So, I bet you didn't hear me sewn, Becky. I finished it. Look at that.
Well
Absolutely
done.
Brilliant with that envelope back on there. So we've got the placemat that we did with the new dies.
Okay.
So is that a number one?
Yeah, number
Is that
one.
number one? Oh, number two, our fabulous cushion. I just absolutely love it.
The cushion. Okay.
I just love it.
So get yourself voting for the favourite one. That will be demo of the show. And don't forget, we've got Sarah's nice list as well coming up for you in this half hour. Oh yeah. So you can be winning some treats. That will be on its way for you soon. If you do want to get social, it's all at the bottom of your screen as to how to find us in that way. So if you do want to get the last moment double points, today is your day. Do not forget. Now, not only have we got that, we have also got our Save a Stitch section today, which is basically all about your treats and your bargains. We were actually nattering just in one of the breaks, myself, Bernie and Jo, about hand stitching, hand embroidery. And if it's something that you've wanted to try, I have to tell you, I've got the perfect duo here for you. I am going to be bringing to you your Dreams embroidery kits. Now, these are fantastic because they literally come with everything you need to be able to create stunning pieces like this. What you're going to be getting in here is not only the hoop itself, which in quite a few kits that I've seen online, you don't always, but you do in each of these. You're also going to be getting the fabric, and the fabric itself has been painted for you so that you can follow the beautiful designs themselves. You're getting the thread colours that you need, you're getting your embroidery needle, and really, really useful step-by-step instructions. So even if you haven't done embroidery since, oh, I don't know, you were knee-high to a grasshopper, you know, year 7 primary school or whatever it might be, then you can still jump right back into it. $12.99 only, or $16.95. And let me just remind you, you're not picking which one you want. In this deal, you're getting both of them for that one-off price. Big discount there, you're saving nearly £13 or $17. So you're getting absolutely all that you want in here. And what I will just remind you as well is the threads you're getting, you get absolutely loads. It's not just enough to do the project at all. There's so much that you're getting in here. This really is a box full of goodies. So if you do want to, I mean, I love how this is depicted, even the use of you know, doing the different stitches, the more basic stitches, but also the slightly more complex stitches. All of those you're going to be able to use with these, and you're going to be able to really grow your skill. Let me just talk to you briefly about the designs, because you have got the hot air balloon design and then you've got the dream catcher design. I think both of these are wonderful. It's been a real trend at the moment, hasn't it? So if you do want to seize the moment now, you can. These are fantastic, aren't they, Bernie?
Absolutely brilliant. Now, I've got both of them with me here, but the Sweet Dreams one I haven't started yet. But I say you've just shown the amount of stuff that you get in there is absolutely fantastic, and the pre-printed design on there. This is the thing for me that's invaluable. It's the stitch guide. The stitch guide you get in it. Now, I have got my Dream Big one open. I've got it here. This is where I've actually started stitching on it, and you actually get the needle as well. So you're going to hoop it up, and never worry what it looks like on the back, because no one's never going to see that. And then once you start stitching, you can follow these stitch guides on here, or you can do your own. And with this one, I'm just doing it's called a back stitch. So you go down one section, you can come up the other side or bring it all the way through the back, and then can you see how we're just easily just following that line? And like you were saying, Becky, you get so much thread in here. It's absolutely unbelievable, because you will have some left over. And what you can do is you can fill this in. So like if I show you on the basket here, what I've done with the browns, I've filled in the section and filled in the little heart. But what you could do is you could just do an outline around it if you like. The other thing as well is it doesn't have to be in the hoop. You don't have to leave it in the hoop. I sometimes embroider without the hoop, and then put the hoop on, trim it on the back when I'm ready to hang it before I, hang it up in my room or give it as a gift. But to have two for that price, I mean, well, is it half price, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow,
it's incredible.
Half price. So yeah, even if you're doing, I know we'd saying that C word, but it is Christmas and we've got our Christmas event. Start getting these and putting them in, gifts for yourself or little stocking fillers for your friends and family as well. I think something like this is really affordable. If you're in a secret Santa at work and you know someone who does stitching, it might be like £5 per one or £10. You can get this and then you can get them a little box of chocolates as well. That's a good idea, Becky, isn't it?
Love that idea. Love that idea. So if you do want to seize the moment, you can. We've actually had a question in from, who is it? It was Emma saying, what will I need to get started? I have a sewing machine, I have a cutter, I've got a cutting mat, I've got different types of feet, walking feet and ruler, and a few books. Is there anything else I need? We'll get that question answered a bit more with Bernie, but this might be a really good one to get started with if you are new, especially if you love time saving. I'm bringing to you your 2-in-1 cutters. So these are your cutting boards. You've got the ability here to create different size hexagons or circles, and it is a buy one. You're saving a tenner essentially. So you've got $29.98 on these ones, and you're saving nearly $13. But don't forget, if you've got your platinum, then you're saving even more. These would be great for beginners and more expert alike, wouldn't they, Bernie?
These are brilliant, and again, that similar concept to the Shape Creator, where it's got those grooves in. I mean, we're talking circles. Look at this. I'm just going to hold this up. Look at that. Now, if you try and cut them by hand or even draw around a template and then cut them out by hand, it is really difficult. But with the cutter, I'm going to show you how easy it is. And I just absolutely love them. So with these, you're getting them in the packaging. On the back, it does give you instructions on how to cut a full shape, and they both work in the same way. So you're going to cut a full shape, a half a shape, or two halves that you can then stitch together. So which one shall we go with? Oh, I'm going to go with a hexagon. So if I take it out here, like I say, you've got these grooves in here that your blade is going to go between, and you've got your sizes on here. So it goes from, this one goes from 2.5 inch up to 8.5. The circle goes from 4 inch up to 9 inch. So essentially what you're going to do is get your fabric. So let's say I'll just get my fabric here, and I'm going to fold it over. So I'm going to cut a full hexagon. So if I fold it over like that, and it gets some scrap fabric, have a little bit of a play. So I just need to fold that up a little bit more to fit that on. So I'm going to cut the big hexagon. And then what the instructions will tell you is to place the fold of the fabric on the placement line. And what that does, it's going to give you an accurate shape. And then you're going to hold with one hand, and this is left or right-handed. You're going to go up here, and the groove actually extends past the sort of crisscross, if you like. Then you're going to go over the top, and then at this point what you're going to do is either move yourself along your worktop, or you can move your mat along as well, and then you're going to come up the other side. So again, like with the Shape Creator, at no point are you moving that fabric, so you're not going to obscure any of your folds or move your fabric so your shape goes a bit askew. And there you've got the perfect 8.5 inch, not hinge, hexagon. So what if you want to cut the single, like a half a piece? You would do exactly the same, but this time you're going to put your piece of fabric, this time you've got a dotted line. So if I put the dotted line on the end of my fabric, which isn't 100% straight, but if I put that on there, there's a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. So if I cut two of those and then stitch them together, I'll get the same shape, so you can mix and match. But what I like to do is use our strip rolls and go a bit fancy. I like going a bit fancy. So what I've done here, look, is I've stitched 4 together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've left it pressed. I haven't pressed that open. I've just left it like that. Now, that's where that stitch line is effectively my fold line. So if I put my placement line on that fold line, and that's going to be my fold. I'm going to cut a 6.5 inch one out with this one. So I'm going the next size down, and then I'm going to cut up there. You can see I'm not moving anything at all, so that fabric isn't going to move. Oh, get my blade in there. Go, and then move along to the other side. And then this one, watch this. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Da, 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 da.
Da, da, da. Look at that. Now, if you tried to cut that shape out, that shape out, that shape out, that shape out, and stitch them all together, it's going to have, you know, is it going to be accurate? That's the thing. It's not. It's never going to be accurate. But by sewing your fabric together first, then using your shapes, and when we were saying earlier about, Jo was saying practice doing a block and see what you think. If you don't like it, you know, you can move on to something else. Those blocks that you don't use, that's the ideal time, but use your shape cutters with them, because you're going to put those different shapes. I've got a fly, I can see a fly flying about, it's going to fly right in my face, watch. Those different shapes, you're then going to use that block because you've used up all your fabric and you're not going to waste any. The other thing as well is just join them both sides together. So I've got 2 strips joined together there. This is like magic, Becky, watch this. I'm going to put my cut line on there. I'm going to cut up one, along there, and along there. Okay. And then you can see, oh, I've got a lot of waste there. If I start again, oh no, flip your fabric, or flip the cutter, and then it lines up perfectly on the other side. And then what you've got there, really, the only waste of your strip is the, oh, I'm quite cut that there, is this tiny little bit here, and then they're going to open out, and you've still got your perfect little shape there. So you've got minimum waste, which we like. We don't like wasting fabric. And then when you have a little bit of stitching here, because that's so close to the end, that'll just pull away.
That's just fab, isn't it?
That's just your thread, yeah. I love these. I love these. And have the hexagon and the circle. The circle, I know we're not supposed to have favourites, but the circle, I think you can do just so much with it, other than just do a circle and a bit of applique. You can do all these different methods with all of them as well. So yeah, so they are our shape cutters. Love them.
That's fab. So Emma, if you are starting out, of course, grab your fabric, grab those if you're into the quilting, and you'll have a whale of a time, I'm sure. Do treat yourself to those ones. Don't forget you're getting both. You don't have to pick your favourite. I've got another duo deal in our Saver Stitch now, and this is all about your borders. Now, the borders that we're bringing to you here are giving you decorative finishes. This can be used on your, no matter kind of what kind of foot or shank you have. So if you've got the high shank or the low shank machines, these are going to work beautifully. The great thing with them is it gives you a decorative finish to your designs, precision each time. So even if you're new, you've not been sewing for a long time, you're going to get that professional finish. And they come with guidelines with them. They come with instructions with them, but also if you head on over to www.crafterscompanion.co.uk/page/sewing-tools, you will see videos of how to use these as well. So these, you are getting both of them. You're going to get the petal decorative and you're getting the jewel decorative as well. These can really elevate your designs, can't they, Bernie?
They can. I know Jo mentioned about ruler work before with the cushions. I absolutely love these. I'm trying to pull it out of the packaging. I don't know why I've got it stuck. There we go. I was pulling the packaging, not the actual shape. And I've got the wrong one now because I wanted this one. So yeah, so in this collection here, we've called these our border dies. So we've got the petal, decorative petal, and then we've got the jewel design, and I'm just going to quickly show you some designs of what you can make with these.
Yes, please.
I mean, how fabulous is that? And this is it. This is what you get in this shape here. But actually, you can make so many different ones. Now, Trisha in our design team puts together these for us. Absolutely fantastic. She's drawn a grid line with a reference guide on there, and then she's gone around with a low shank or a high shank foot, whichever one fits your machine, and then you can make all of these fantastic designs. And if I just flick through them, I mean, look at that one, a little tiny one, all with the same shape. And then you can go along and now, you know, so you've got like mountain peak sort of design, or make it alternative and go this way on here. And then again, having them joined like this. And then they're the samples, but what you want to see is them on a quilt. Now, this quilt here is absolutely stunning. Oh, actually, it's a wall hanging. Oh, our Stephen made this. I'm going to hold this up.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So look, so it's got petal designs on it. However, if we go, and I'm not sure how well we're going to see this on the close-up, but what Stephen's used is a variegated thread. And on here, we've got the design, you can see, and it's gone through. And if you haven't heard of variegated thread before, what it is, it's the thread. I don't think I've got any in my caddy, but the thread goes from different colours. So you can see there it changes from pink to green to yellow, pink to green to yellow, pink to green to yellow. It goes the way through. You get all different ones of different colours, but then this, in the centre, he's gone round it twice to make that petal design in there. So that's the petal one, and then we've got the jewel. So the jewel, exactly the same concept, where you, and I see what you do is you get the marks. You get like a crosshair mark on here, so you can line it up on your work. And then again, if we look at, I mean, if I place it on, you can see that there's the shape.
Yeah.
And then with this one, you get an extra one in the centre as well. So you can do a totally different design with the centre. So if I quickly flick through these ones, so there's an alternative going along. That one, so I think that one would be great on a Halloween project, wouldn't it?
Hey, great idea.
You know, like a spider's web sort of design. And you would think, well, how on earth have you, well, there we go. You're just doing half. You're stopping at the line all the time. And then with that one, it's the using both shapes. Or that one's just using the centre piece there. So there it is there. The centerpiece. So they're really, really versatile. And then I'm going to show you this, which Sally's made this table runner, which is stunning, and it's all block colours, but then you can see the design here, where she's quilted all the way along and just gone along around. And then in the centre here, I love this because it's just, and this is similar what I did with the design on the cushion, the kaleidoscope cushion, just once centrally going around making that, but then that's quilted, but then it looks so pretty, better than straight lines once you get into them. So I think these are really, really good, and they will fit in most sewing machines as well. We test them on our sewing machines for the throat. So you know the gap to the right of your needle is called the throat of the machine. We test them, so when we do them, we test them to make sure that they will comfortably fit well in. I mean, you can see how much space is there on our Stitch Pro. There's loads of room to the side there. So, you know, you've got loads of room to get it in, turn it round. And I think if you haven't ever tried our quilt and pattern guides, this is a great offer to get these two and just have a little bit of a dabble, if you like.
Have a bit of a dabble. It is your chance to grab those ones if you love that detail and texture. Just as a reminder, it's the borders that you get in the jewel and the petal collection. Do you know what I think is incredible? With those two elements, essentially, the wealth of different patterns and techniques you have to create. So you've got the opportunity here to really have fun mixing and matching those ones. And again, it makes you look professional even if you are quite new to stitching. So it's a wonderful pairing to get. You are going to be getting both of them £23.98 or $34.42. Massive saving, 25%. And if you're platinum, even better. Make the most of those double points days today as well, because I've got my final treat in our Save a Stitch. This is your Christmas Applique collection. You are getting 14 elements within this, and you're getting low tack tape. If you've not seen these ones before, let me show you around them, because, you know, if you are quite new, let's say, to crafting in general, we need to start thinking about Christmas like last week. So it's great that we've got these in, and they're on a discount as well. So you are getting the bell, as you can see. You're also getting your mistletoes, you're getting your baubles in this one as well. 7 pieces in each pack that help you create this finesse and finish, and those are all dies that you're going to get. You've also got that low tack tape paper for your fabric, so you're giving that really wonderful variety of techniques you can do with this, including the likes of printing onto your fabric and so much more. $22.98 or $32.94 with these ones. These are going to be fabulous if you do want to have something a little bit different. These are quite unusual, these kits, aren't they?
They are fab. These are a set that we brought out. It must have been for last Christmas we brought these out, and these two in particular are so versatile. So you've got the bell with the foliage on there, but also when you look at the bell, if I get hold of the right one, that's the baubles. You're also getting a little star on there that you can use. Look at what you can use on other projects. You're getting the holly leaves and the little berries on there and all of the pieces there, and then on the other one you're getting the baubles. And again, you're getting all of those different shapes on there that you can use on different things. I'll show you a quick couple of samples. So the baubles, look at this cute little cushion, putting the baubles on there, and then this is just like a little tiny zigzag stitch, like a little satin stitch, just to make them as if they're hanging. And then we've got a matching table runner to go with that one. But then, look at this, Becky, you won't believe this. These are the bauble dies.
Really?
Yeah, look at it.
Oh wow!
So you recognise we've got that little star there, and then that's the baubles, and then
that's
just some strips of fabric that you can cut on your shape creator, 1/2-inch strip on there, and it's just totally different. It's nothing to do. It reminds me of a pack of playing cards.
Yeah,
doesn't it? It's really it really is like that one.
Oh,
so they're
stunning.
absolutely fabulous. And then the low tack paper, like you say, there's so many uses for that. With this, you can iron it and press it onto your fabric, so it's ideal for your English paper piecing. So cut your shapes out. Needle turn applique. Now, I meant to speak to Jo about needle turn because I've read that she does like needle turn applique. You could actually cut these shapes out with your paper, and then cut your fabric out larger, and then you can then press it onto your shape and use that to needle turn. So when needle turn is when you're hand stitching your piece down onto the fabric, you're not machine stitching it. And this is great. Like I say, it will go through your printer. Foundation paper piecing, which I'm going to try and do that in one of my shows over the next few weeks because I haven't done it on the show. I'm going to try and do that, show you that technique. Absolutely works brilliantly. There's just so much versatility with it, and you're getting 10 sheets and you can reuse it as well. And then lastly, I'm just going to show you this sample here. And this one has got those bells on and the holly. How fabulous is that?
Stunning. Absolutely love those. And if you do want to be able to recreate them, you are getting those templates and that low tack paper, all of it today. You're getting a saving of nearly £13 or nearly $20. It's just £22.98 or $32.94. But don't forget, if you've got extra points, then you are platinum. If you are this close to being a platinum member, which basically means you get massive discounts, we're talking a huge up to 20% off everything. If you are that close to being platinum, then don't forget, last day of double points. We have had our winner through for demo of the day, and it is the cushion.
Yay!
It's a beauty, this one is. Did you think this one was going to win?
I did, but then that means I can't take it home.
And neither can any of us.
No.
Oh, we've had the raffle going and everything. So this one is the winner of demo of the show. Of course, we'll be doing demo of the day, etc., a little bit later on. Now, that hasn't been the only little treasure that we've been voting for. Oh no, we have also had something very special. It has been Sarah's nice list that you are demonstrating beautifully, Bernie. So this is Sarah's nice list. Excited, Bernie?
Just a little bit, because I haven't done one of these. I'm really excited. Who's going to win? Who's going to win?
Well, I have a feeling that I know. I'm going to reveal the prize first because that's the way we like to do it. I have got the sack of treats here. I'm going to pull one of these out and let you know what we've got. Okay, we have got gift number 8, which is a bag of assorted stamps and dies, as well as sparkle pens. So this is going to go to one lucky winner, and the lucky winner, the lovely social team have sent through, is Gemma Wilson.
Yay!
Get her on the board, Bernie.
Is that Gemma with a G?
It is Gemma with a G.
Right, I'm going to have to kneel. Excuse me while I kneel.
Oh, that's all
I'm
right.
right at the bottom.
Oh, that's
Look,
all
I'm
right.
down on the floor.
There you are.
Right, Gemma. Sorry, Gemma. Was it Wilson?
That's correct, Wilson. Gemma, congratulations to you. You've got a bag of assorted stamp steins and the
Yay.
Starkle pens as well. Don't forget that we have got the nice list today, and I'm giving away another 4 of these so you could get involved. If you would like to get involved, we've got Craft Along with the Fish at 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Eastern. And this is a great one where literally you craft along. And then we have got the final Blowout Club Inspire Christmas event as well, where I'll be giving 3 people treats from the nice list. Bernie, as always, it's been fab to be with you. When are you next with us, my love?
I'm back next Sunday with lots and lots of treats. Fabulous. It's going to be great.
Oh, she's keeping it under her hat. Thank you so much, Bernie. And thank you to the wonderful Jo. Don't forget, you can find Jo Avery online and treat yourself to that book if you so wish. It's a fabulous deal for you today. Thank you to everyone in the team. Of course, thank you to you. I'm going to be back with you in, hour and a half, 3 o'clock, with the Craft Along. So get all of your crafting treats ready and we will see you very, very soon.